Here are my favorite recipes for each month in 2024. I got some big surprises for you all in 2025, so stay tuned. Here's how you can make
mac and cheese
bites from Loud House. It's super simple. All you need to do is make mac and cheese however you want and then freeze the leftovers so everything solidifies. Grab a chunk and form it into a ball. I'm using extra cheese to hold everything together and then dip it into flour, eggs, and panko breadcrumbs. Squeeze everything well so it doesn't crack and fall apart. Lastly, just deep fry at 350 until it's golden brown. You can possibly also air fry it, but that's pretty much it. Okay, now to be honest, I've never watched Loud House before, but just based on this recipe and dish alone, I will definitely choose this over Craig of the Creek. Like, the kids in Loud House, they know what good food is. This is way better than those mozzarella sticks from Craig of the Creek. It's just fried macaroni and cheese. And this one has some extra ground beef pieces on the inside. You just can't go wrong with this. I think there needs to be some sort of crossover between Loud House and Craig of the Creek because Loud House definitely needs to show them how to cook. This is way better than anything Craig or his friends made. I'm giving this a 8.5 out of 10. Let's make the viral TikTok baked potato but better. So I wasn't too fond of the original Spudman or jacket potato. It just seemed like it was missing some spice or seasoning. So I thought let's add a bit of a Pakistani twist to it. Let's bake a russet potato at 400 for about an hour. In a saucepan add ghee, onions, green Thai chili peppers, these tomato beans along with salt, chili powder, cumin seeds, black caraway seeds, sesame seeds, and lemon juice. Cook on medium heat until it looks like this. Split open your potato, add some butter, season with salt and pepper, mix well and top it off with mozzarella cheese, your spiced beans, and garnish with pickled veggies. I have onions, cucumbers, cilantro, and radish. And so this is basically everything you would put in chole or chane, minus the chickpeas, and you're just replacing that with the beans. Ooh, okay, that pickled veggies on top make it. It just cuts through all that richness because the cheese is already so fatty. You got the butter and the potatoes, so you need something pickled on top. That really works. And the spices just make everything taste so much better. Oh, that's proper. I'm giving this maybe a 8.4 out of 10. It's pretty good. Here's how you can make an iced Biscoff chai. Let's boil some water and add my mom's masala chai mix, which you can also find in the cookbook. FYI, it has cinnamon, cardamom pods, which is my favorite, fennel seeds, cloves. Then you can add in some black tea, bring this up to a boil, then pour in your milk and continue to boil. But watch this like a hawk or else it will spill over like this. Then you can add in your Biscoff spread and continue to boil. Strain this and let this cool off because again, we're making iced chai, so you don't want this to immediately melt the ice. So let's grab a large mug and drizzle some more Biscoff spread on the sides of the glass, top it off with your ice, and pour in your chai. Lastly, to garnish, let's add some whipped cream, drizzle on some more Biscoff spread. Also, to make this drizzable, if that's even a word, all you have to do is microwave the Biscoff spread. I'm also shaving on concentrated cane sugar and adding a lotus biscuit. I even made my chai Biscoff kulfi, which is probably maybe one of my favorite kulfis, if not in my top 3. You can't go wrong with the combination of chai and Biscoff, so I had to try just a regular iced version of chai Biscoff, and you could honestly just have chai Biscoff as a hot drink and that would be great, but an iced version, especially when spring is coming up, this hits the spot. I'm giving this maybe a 9.2 out of 10. Here's how you can make my favorite dish, lamb pulao, which is better than biryani in my opinion, and it's basically rice cooked in a spiced lamb stock.
जीरा डालेंगे इसमें, काली मिर्च, साबुत धनिया 1 स्पून, लौंग इसमें 10 से 12, 2 इलायची, ग्रीन इलायची डालेंगे, दालचीनी, स्मेल अच्छी आएगी। अब इसमें पानी डालेंगे, लैम्ब मीट है।
Did you wash this?
Yeah, why not? Meat always wash good.
No, you don't have to always wash meat, it's fine.
बेटा सब जम्स होते हैं अच्छा।
No, if you cook it, then all the gersim is gone.
No.
And we'll also add a whole bulb of garlic and a small onion. Cover this with water just enough until it sits right on top of the meat.
2 चम्मच नमक डाल देंगे। 45 मिनट के लिए इसको पकने देंगे।
And now we gotta drain all the stock from the meat, and let's also squeeze out all that garlic and onion flavor.
ऑयल डालेंगे इसमें थोड़ा, प्याज डालेंगे, हल्दी, लहसुन और अदरक का पेस्ट डालेंगे।
And now we add all of our lamb back into the mix and cover it with the stock.
बॉईल हो जाए फिर इसमें चावल डालेंगे। ये बासमती चावल है, इसको धो के।
And you can see how the stock is above the rice. You want to let this boil just until the stock falls below the rice. Then you can cover it and let this steam for about an extra 10 minutes and then you're done. And now you can plate and you can garnish it with raita. And I used to eat this when I was little. I didn't even know what it was called back in the day. I used to call this good chawal. So whenever I wanted pulao, I used to tell my mom to make some of that good chawal.
That's good, eh? Good chawal.
Here's how you can make a gulab jamun donut. It's good, but it's so sweet. You can honestly only have one, but it's worth it. In a bowl, add milk powder, all-purpose flour, butter, baking soda, a tiny dash of rose water, and some whole buffalo milk. The fattier, the better. Now you just want to mix this until it forms a dough. Scoop some out and form them into balls. And now let's make a donut shape by flattening this out and just cut a hole out of the center. To make the simple syrup, add sugar into a pot along with some water, a squeeze of lemon juice, cardamom pods, and a tiny splash of rose water. You want to let this simmer until it becomes kind of thick. Now you want to deep fry until this is golden brown and then soak this in your simple syrup. And let's make a simple glaze by whisking powdered sugar, milk, and vanilla. Lastly, to garnish, let's crush up some green pistachios. Let's grab our gulab jamun donut, drizzle on the glaze, and sprinkle on some crushed pistachios and rose petals. Also, I know it's not my cheat day. This is a small exception, and you honestly just need a good cup of chai with this, and you're set.
Here's how you can make a Cubano sandwich from the movie Chef.
Look at that. Can I get a little of that?
Can I have some?
There you go. See this water? Bang. Is it hot?
Perfecto.
Now watch me. Watch what I'm doing.
2 slices of ham.
2 slices of cheese. 1, 2. 2 pickles. 1, 2. Now watch this. Take this mustard from end to end. This is what makes it a Cubano. Take the butter. See that?
Yeah.
On top. Butter the griddle. In. Just like that. Now watch. I want you to watch for the bread to get golden.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, see how golden that is?
3 equal pieces.
See what we got?
All right, here we go. Ah, he's safe.
Look at that cheese.
Oh, that bread, juicy. Okay, wait, so in the movie, what do they use? They use pork, right?
Yeah, they use ham.
So what exactly did we...
This is corned beef brisket. It's more halal than pork. I think a spicier sauce on it. It's a little bit...
Yeah, they didn't
like
use any
it's
sauce.
not-
They just used mustard. If you had to rate this, what is it?
7.8.
It's a bit better than that, man. Like, your
Really?
brisket's good. 8.1, 8.2?
Here's how you can make takoyaki from Dragon Ball Super.
Dang!
これは
よし、あんたこやくだ
This is such a tedious process to make. The last time I made this was maybe 3 years ago. And there's a reason why I didn't make it again, because there's just so many different steps and elements you have to do, and then you have to actually make sure the balls stay in place. You gotta form it. Vegeta knew Bira-sama was gonna like this because you can't hate takoyaki. Unless you don't like octopus, but if you didn't know this had octopus in it and you just ate it, you would like it. So if an alien race is coming to Earth and they demand food, you better make them some takoyaki. I'm gonna give this a 9.1 out of 10. It's really good.
ふわっとした小麦粉のボールの中にプリッと潜むタコの食感
Here's how you can make a Pakistani grilled cheese. You guys know I gotta add a Pakistani twist to almost everything, so I wanted to give it a shot to see if it works. On brioche bread, I'm gonna add the oil from pickled veggies, also known as achar, and on the other side, I'll add clarified butter, also known as ghee. Now let's add slices of Havarti, cheddar, and Monterey Jack cheese, and in another pan, add more ghee with sliced onions, green Thai chili peppers, and cumin seeds. Get this a bit brown. Now add your crispy and fried onions on top of your cheese, followed up with more cheese and another slice of bread. Now you want to cook this low and slow so the bread gets brown and the cheese has time to melt. Also, don't worry about the cheese oozing out. It's going to be nice and crispy when it hits the pan.
Oh, the onions make it. And you get a hint of that achar. I wasn't sure if the achar was going to make it better or worse, but that actually makes it better. And the onions are a little bit sweet because I didn't burn them. I slowly got them fried. So they're a little bit crispy, a little bit sweet, and it's not overpowering at all. Oh, and we got this little nice crispy bit from the cheese that hit the pan. I would have to say this is better than Dwayne's grilled cheese from Craig of the Creek, just because it has a little bit of that masala flavor with the cumin seeds. I'm gonna give this a 9.2 out of 10. Here's how you can make Bihari Kabob, and it's a popular dish in Pakistan.
One of the key ingredients of Bihari Kabob is papaya or any sort of fruit tenderizer. So this is eye round. It's a pretty thin cut of meat and it's cut into these long strips. Papaya, it's used to tenderize the meat. A lot of onions, so we got some sweated down onions here. We also got your regular dahi or yogurt, and of course a little bit of ginger. Mustard oil gives it a little little bit of a perfume as well.
And let's spice this up with some chili powder, garam masala, salt, and pepper.
And just mix it up. And you can marinate this for around 2 to 4 hours. Now it's time to skewer. We got these really special skewers. These are made from iron. They're a little bit thick and they're square. Fold it over itself.
It's almost like yakitori with the chicken skin.
Yeah, you almost get that ribbon-like kind of texture. Make sure you're cooking on lump charcoal, not charcoal briquettes, because the lump charcoal imparts a nice flavor. Any good barbecue is literally just lots of love and lots of butter. You're gonna cook the Bihari Kabob until it's nicely charred, until it's just falling off the skewer. That way you know that the beef is tender.
Oh, that's tender. Oh, yeah, it's that tang that makes it different. It's really tangy.
The papaya for sure is definitely making it kind of fall off, and papaya has a little bit of a distinct flavor to it, a little bit of a tang, almost citrusy.
If you have to rate this out of 10, what would you say?
Listen, man, I'm Bihari. I have to show my Bihari people a good score. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Ooh, I don't know if it's better than Sikh kebabs. It's close. A 9.8 out of 10.
Wow.
Like, it's up there. Like, for me, Sikh kebabs is like a 9.9. It's just a little bit under, but I think what makes it for me is that unique papaya flavor.
Let's make Palestinian rack of lamb. I know Chef Ramsay likes his herb crusted rack of lamb, and this is similar because we're using a dried herb spice blend called za'atar, which is popular in Palestine. Let's start by grabbing our rack of lamb and scoring it in a crisscross motion and seasoning it with salt and pepper. In a hot cast iron skillet, let's add some oil and get color on all sides of our rack of lamb. Then you can baste it with butter and pop it in the oven at 400 for about 7 minutes. In the meantime, you can grab your za'atar, which has thyme, coriander, fennel, and sesame seeds, salt, and sumac. Grab your rack of lamb out of the oven and spread on yellow mustard to act as a binder for the za'atar. Make sure you sprinkle and pat down every nook and cranny so no part of the lamb is left uncovered. Shake some of the excess off, and finally back in the oven at 400 for about 10 minutes. Carefully slice and enjoy. I forgot to turn my mic on, but let me tell you, these spices work so well with the lamb. I'm giving this a 9.3 out of 10. Let's make Mama's chicken corn soup. Mama starts by adding 1 whole chicken into boiling water. And she'll boil this for about 30 minutes before shredding the chicken with her hands. And while the stock is still simmering on the stove, Mama will chop up a bell pepper, blend it with some water, and add this to the stock along with corn, creamed corn, and she'll taste for seasoning.
Oh, yeah, more salt.
Now the chicken is ready to be added along with a slurry of cornstarch and milk. Give this a mix to thicken it up, and now you can watch Mama try to crack an egg with one hand.
And here's a one-hand cracker on a flat surface. That's the trick.
Whisk the eggs and slowly drop it into the soup while mixing so it breaks it up. And that's it. Serve with whatever you want.
Vinegar and green chili oil.
Where in Pakistan is this popular?
अभी तो so many places खुल गए हैं, लेकिन always हम तो घर पे ही बनाते थे.
At what age?
Age की नहीं पूछा करो. When I baby. Recipe तो अपनी है, recipe not nobody. क्योंकि Chinese का जो होता है वो भी ऐसे ही है, लेकिन जब खुद बनाते हैं तो वो खुद की recipe है, वो आपकी.
Okay, so it is from the Chinese.
Chinese?
Yeah.
हाँ. माशाल्लाह.
So,
बहुत hot है. 1 मिनट में खा लूँ पूरा.
Let me show you how to make a Philly cheesesteak for weight loss.
how about for weight gain?
For the meat of choice, I'm using something leaner like sirloin.
I'm using something fatty like ribeye.
Amazing cheese sauce. I'm gonna use some low-fat cottage cheese.
I'm gonna use some full-fat heavy cream.
3 slices of some good old fat-free American.
Full-fat cheddar.
I'm gonna be using this nacho cheddar popcorn seasoning.
I don't have popcorn seasoning, but I do have tahini, which is a Mexican spice blend.
Time to blend this all up.
I think I made whipped cream. I'm gonna dilute this with some milk and make it a bit more liquidy.
Listen to me, you're gonna heat this up in a pan on a low heat, and if the pan is too hot, it will separate. That becomes your cheese sauce and not mine.
Hope this works.
I'm gonna drop the heat in my pan and hit it with some cheese sauce.
Alright, the cheese sauce is not bad.
I'm gonna be using this brioche roll.
I think a brioche bun will be great for weight gain, but I don't have one, so I'm just gonna go with a regular sandwich bun.
And we're just gonna give that a nice flip, and voila, your beautiful sandwich. Each serving is 550 calories and 47 grams of protein.
I don't even know how much calories this has. If you guys do know the calculations, let me know in the comments.
And for reference, this is 2 servings.
And this is 1 serving. I'm the only person that's trying to gain weight in my house. You can't go wrong with this.